Good morning and welcome back to Storytime. This is our second Storytime of the summer, but it's our first one with it being the official beginning of the summer reading program. So if you guys haven't already signed up for the summer reading program, you can do it one of two ways. You can either do it using Beanstack, which is our online reading app, or you can come to the library and pick up a paper reading log and we can get you all set up that way. And we have our June calendar, which is on our website. So you can go there and you can find all of our events and programs that we're running for the summer, or for June, and then July will come out when it's July. This week we have our fairy house craft, so you can find that on our Facebook. It has the instructions and an example of a fairy house that Miss Jane did for us, which looks so awesome. And then, or you can come to the library and pick up a paper copy of that as well. So let's get started. Right. Now that we got all of the business out of the way, let's get started with our hello song. For those of you who remember, hello is like this. Friends, we link our fingers. Time, we point at our wrist. And to say, you go away from your mouth, okay? Are you guys ready to get started and sing along? Here we go. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Woo! Good job, everyone. All right. So, for those of you who remember from last week, we used our fish to match our colors. But today we're going to be counting while singing a song. So, it's going to go like this. We're going to start with our one red fish, and we're going to talk about that one. And then we're going to say our two yellow fish, and then so on, and all the other ones, okay? So once you get the hang of it, you can start singing along at home. And I'm sure I'll hear you, okay? All right, so one little red fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. One little red fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. All right. Two little yellow fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. Two little yellow fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Three little blue fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. Three little blue fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Four little purple fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. Four little purple fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Five little green fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. Five little green fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Good job, everyone. All right, so now we're going to get to our stories. So since our theme for the summer reading program is Imagine Your Story, it's all about fairy tales. Do you guys know what a fairy tale is? If you do, let me know. But what I think it is that it's just a story about a magical land and imaginary beings, and sometimes there's kings and queens in it, and other times there aren't. So our first one that we're going to read is called Red Riding Hood, and it's a story about bravery. Are any of you brave out there? I'm sure you are. All right. Are you guys ready? Okay. In a quiet village along a cobblestone path lined with ivy stood a cottage. It was a happy home with a bright flower garden and an even brighter young girl who lived there with her mother. The girl's name was Red Riding Hood. She was called Red Riding Hood because of the hooded red sweater her grandmother had knit for her. "You are so cheerful, my darling granddaughter," the old woman would say. "This cozy sweater matches the brightness of your heart." Red Riding Hood's grandmother would come every morning to help the young girl tend her mother's flower garden. "Grandma, one day I want to have my own flower shop so I can sell daisies, because they're your favorite flowers," Red Riding Hood would say. Her grandmother would always smile, "And I'm sure one day you will," she said. Then one morning something odd happened. Red Riding Hood's grandmother did not come. "Sweetheart, Grandma is ill," said Red Riding Hood's mother. "She won't be able to visit today." "Maybe a bouquet of her favorite daisies will help her feel better," Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "That's a wonderful idea," her mother said. "I will send you with some soup and bread as well. But you must promise to be careful on your way to Grandma's cottage. There are wolves in the woods." "I promise," said Red Riding Hood. Soon the young girl was skipping along the wooded path, holding a woven basket filled with goodies. No one could mistake her cheerful red sweater as she went, especially not the pair of wily eyes that spotted her through the trees. Uh-oh. Can you guys see? There they are. "That child is the perfect plump morsel to fill my stomach," thought the big bad wolf as he hungrily eyed Red Riding Hood. He rustled through the bushes, ready to pounce. "Who's there?" Red Riding Hood called when she heard the noise. She remembered her mother's warning and grabbed a large stick to hold high. This one has spunk," the wolf thought. "How much easier would it be to gobble her up if she were caught off guard? I'll bet she is taking that basket to the old woman in the cottage beyond the river, but I shall get there first." Do you guys know how Red Riding Hood showed bravery in the forest? In this moment, do you know what she did to do that? She didn't run away. She protected herself. Quick as the wind, the wolf raced through the forest. Within moments, he was at Grandmother's door. "Who's there?" Grandmother asked when he knocked. "It's Red Riding Hood," the wolf called in a voice as gentle as the child's. "My darling girl," Grandmother replied. "Come in, the door is unlocked." When the old woman saw the ghastly wolf instead of her granddaughter, she fainted from shock. Quickly, the wolf hid her in a cupboard, and put on her spare nightgown. Then he closed the window curtains, climbed into bed, and pulled the sheets right up to his chin. See, there's Grandma hiding. There's the wolf now in her bed. Oof! Soon Red Riding Hood came skipping up to the door. "Grandma, it's me," she called. "Come in," the wolf rasped. Oh dear, Red Riding Hood thought. Her grandmother's voice sounded strange. She must be very ill. But when she entered the cottage, things only got stranger. The light was unusually dim, and her grandmother had the sheets pulled right up to her chin. "Grandma?" Red Riding Hood asked hesitantly. Can you guys see that there's the grandma still hidden in the cupboard, and there's the wolf still there. But Red Riding Hood, I don't think she's being fooled by the wolf, do you? "Come closer," the wolf whispered. Red Riding Hood inched closer. "Grandma, you look different. What big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "If only you would come closer." Red Riding Hood took another step. "But Grandma, what big hands you have." "The better to hug you with," whispered the wolf. He couldn't help grinning. Soon the child would be within reach, and soon after, in his belly. Oof. I don't think that's a place we want to be. As he grinned, the wolf's teeth flashed, and Red Riding Hood gasped. "What big teeth he has," she thought, for by now she could tell that this was not her grandmother at all, but a wolf like her mother had warned her about. She had to think fast, or she would be eaten. "Oh no, I completely forgot," Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "I didn't bring your favorite flowers." "Don't be silly, child," said the wolf. "Come give your grandmother a hug." "No, no," insisted Red Riding Hood. "Without your favorite flowers, you won't feel better. You remember which ones they are, right?" "Oh, do you think he knows?" "I don't know if he knows what favorite flowers Grandma has." Now the wolf paused. He didn't have the faintest idea which flowers were the old woman's favorite, but if he said so, the girl would catch on and run away. Fine, fine, rasped the wolf. Go pick my favorite flowers, but then come right back. Leaving her basket of goodies on the floor, Red Riding Hood raced out the door, but instead of fleeing back home, she crept around the back of the cottage through an open window. Grandma must still be inside, she thought, and I must help her. Oh. Meanwhile, the wolf eyed the basket of treats. His stomach rumbled. I have not eaten in 3 days, he thought. I suppose a small snack would do me well before the main course. Swiftly, the wolf devoured the treats. He was so busy munching, he never noticed the small girl in the red sweater sneak in the back window and free her grandmother from the cupboard. Oh, yay! Grandma's going to be okay. And Red Riding Hood. See, they're going to go out that window. When the bread was nothing but crumbs and the soup all gone, the wolf finally looked up. That was when he noticed the open cupboard and window. Wicked child, he cried, she escaped and took the old woman too, but I shall show them both what comes of trying to outsmart a wolf. The wolf sprang from the cottage. Now he was ravenous, not with hunger, but with rage. But so focused was he in his pursuit that he didn't pay attention to where he ran. He slipped on the slick stones by the river and tumbled down into the rushing water, never to be seen again. See, there's Grandma and Red Riding Hood sneaking away, and the wolf taking off Grandma's clothes. And then there he is, trying to find them, but he doesn't. And they get away. Back in the village, Red Riding Hood told her mother the whole story. Thank goodness you are both safe, her mother exclaimed. But how did you outsmart that nasty wolf? He couldn't tell me Grandma's favorite flowers. Red Riding Hood pressed a fresh bouquet of daisies into her grandmother's hand, and I insisted I needed to pick some. My darling girl, said Red Riding Hood's grandmother, now I see that your beautiful red sweater matches not only the brightness of your heart, but the bravery within it as well. The end. I love that story, because Red Riding Hood loves her grandma so much that she is willing to be as brave as she can be to help save her, right? And I think that's a really nice quality to have. And so, if you guys liked this book, you can come to the library and check it out, and there are little questions in here that you and your mom or dad or grandma, if you read it with your grandma or grandpa or anyone you read it with, you can answer these questions and talk about it. And I think that's fun. Okay, so we're all done with this one. And maybe some of you have read Little Red Riding Hood before, a different story like that. Okay, so we're going to read one more book. So I hope you guys are ready. It's called Once Upon a Goat. You see the little goat right there. Now, in fairy tales, you can kind of always tell that it's a fairy tale because sometimes it'll start with once upon a time, and that's how you know it's a fairy tale. But this one is Once Upon a Goat, so I can only imagine what this is going to be about. And you see right here, the goat ate the paper. Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't. It was the goat. All right. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, a king and queen wished for a child. There's the king and queen. There's their castle. Yes, but where would we put it? Asked the king. Next to the vase on the hearth, naturally, replied the queen. Or beside the roses in the garden, the king added. Oh yes, perfect, agreed the queen. One day, their fairy godmother stopped by for a visit. Tell me what you desire, she asked. We'd like to start a family, said the king. We're not particular, said the queen. Glowing skin, bright eyes, and a hair like ocean waves will do. There's their fairy godmother. When there are fairy godmothers in the story, that's when you also know it's a fairy tale. Just like in Cinderella. Said their fairy godmother. A boy would be great, added the king, but any kid will do. Of course, answered their fairy godmother. Look on your doorstep when the moon is full. At the next full moon, the king and queen ran to the door. Let it be a boy, said the king. With hair like ocean waves, said the queen. There they are, peeking through the door, hoping for a boy. Bah, said the goat. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like a baby boy, does it? I wanted a baby, cried the queen. It's my fault, wailed the king. I said any kid would do, but I never meant this. Look at the cute little baby goat. There he is, and there he is there. He's already eaten the shrubs there. Uh-oh. Reluctantly, the king and queen brought the little beast into their home. Look on the bright side, said the king. We can still hold it like a baby. It has a goatee, replied the queen. We don't need to change its diapers, said the queen. That's disgusting, replied the king. At least it loves the royal roses, said the king. That's it. It has to go, commanded the queen. I guess we're better off now, said the queen sadly. A stand had to be taken for the roses, replied the king. Of course, said the queen. Uh-oh. There he is eating the roses, and I guess they really love their roses. Oh, look at the little goat. He's all alone down in the yard. I don't know what's going to happen. That night, it rained hard. It's not our fault we were given a goat, said the queen. Not our fault at all, added the king. And yet, I wonder if we were right to send the little fellow away on such a blustery night. Oh, look, he's so sad out there, all alone and wet in the yard. And there they are, wondering if they did the right thing. What do you guys think? Do you think it was the right thing to send the little guy away? Clearly, he lacks the good sense to find shelter. I suppose he could come in just for a bit to dry off. He looks hungry, said the king. Maybe he could share a nibble or two from our meal. Oh, good. They went and got the little goat. There they are, going to get him. And there he is, eating more flowers. He really likes flowers. It's late. We can hardly send him away now, said the queen. He shall have to stay in our room for the night. It's only for the night, said the king. There he is. He's going to snuggle up in bed with the king and the queen. One night turned into 2 weeks, and weeks into months. Aww. There he is with a knight's helmet on his head, and they're reading a book to him. Oh, the Frog Prince, another fairy tale. And here he is just having a blast in the castle. I think they like him. Before long, their fairy godmother returned for a visit. How is everything? Wonderful, replied the king and queen. Perfect. May I see the child? Oh, little does she know that that's the child. I wonder if she knows. What do you think? Isn't he darling, said the king. A blessing, added the queen. You must be joking, said their fairy godmother. It's a goat. Yes, left on the doorstep when the moon was full, just like you said. Uh-oh, said their fairy godmother. I'll be back. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't think she knew she accidentally gave them a goat. Oh dear. This is for the best, really. Oh geez. Look at the baby is with the goats and the goat is with the humans. I think there was a mix-up. Oh, she's taking the baby away from the goats. Let's see. My sincere apologies for the misunderstanding. I'll just return the goat and that will be that. Wait, said the queen. Perhaps there is an alternative, said the king at last. Yes, I see your point, said their fairy godmother. Oh, the baby isn't very happy. But then the baby sees the goat, and now they're friends. Do any of you have any pet goats? I don't have a pet goat. And look, there they are, one big happy family. And then the baby goat's mom and dad are going to join too. Well, said the king, not exactly the family we wish for. No, replied the queen. Better. And there they are, all happily together in their castle. The end. All right. I think that was a cute story. The goat is so cute. And so most fairy tales have happy endings, which is why we kind of like them, because we always like a happy ending, right? Okay. So that's all we have for today. Don't forget to sign up for our summer reading program. It's going to be so much fun. There's lots of coupons and prizes for you to win. And I can't wait to see you guys all back at the library sometime soon. Alright, so we're going to end with our goodbye song, which is just like our hello song. And we're going to go, this is goodbye, and then we know our hand signals, right? Alright, are you guys ready? Alright, goodbye friends, goodbye friends, goodbye friends. It's time to say goodbye. Bye. See you next week.